Back in a concerted effort, the Southwest Governors Forum, comprising the governors of Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, and Ondo states, have announced plans to establish a joint security surveillance aimed at combating banditry and other criminal activities. The move comes amid earlier reports of infiltration of the terrorists into some forests in the southwest region. Recall that Governor Seyi Makinde had warned early in January that bandits fleeing military operations in the northwest were seeking refuge in Oyo. As part of this resolution, the team will collaborate with local security outfits and the Nigerian police force to address the rising threats posed by ISWAP. The forum is also committed to deploying advanced technology, including aerial surveillance systems to enhance security operations. Of course, I still have Justice General right here and, of course, Chidi Umeji. Now, Chidi, very quickly, now the Southwest Governors Forum, comprising the governors of Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, and Ondo states, has agreed to establish a joint security surveillance against ISWAP. Now, this decision was prompted by earlier reports of infiltration of terrorists in some areas in the southwest. Now, do you think this is timely or rather late?
Look, I am so proud of the governors from the southwest. Right. I like their synergy. I like their cooperation. I like the way they collaborate. I like the way they see, the response to security challenge as a regional, issue. I like the way they speak in one voice. They meet to.
All right, Chidi, you still there? Okay, I think we lost connections with him. Hopefully we can reestablish that. Now, the Southwest Governors Forum have come together like a pact, ready to go against this onslaught that is obviously brewing. From your perspective, so far, do you think they've been proactive enough?
I think so.
All right.
I think so, and yeah, I think we have to trace it back to the great and unfortunately now late senior advocate of Nigeria, that was the governor of Ondo State, Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu.
Fantastic.
He was a very, very proactive man in this regard,
right.
And against all odds, against the tide. During the last administration, he looked the president in the eye, something that ought not to be done. He spoke true to power, and he ensured that he put the security and welfare of the Southwest, and not just Ondo State, on the front burner. He was the one that championed the Amotekun, and of course the governors of the Southwest too had no option than to also rally around him. And I'm very, very happy that this is now extended to the present crop of governors, and they are taking the bull by the horn to cry from their ivory towers that this infiltration is happening. We shouldn't have a situation where it is after the attack or after the fact that the governors are now saying there are security lapses, there are security breaches. Yeah. We can nip it in the bud even before we start having casualties, or even before we have casualties at all. And that's why I'm very, very happy with what the Southwestern governors are doing in this regard.
Now, from the whole situation happening at the moment, now we can understand that the Southwest governors are rising to the occasion to ensure things are settling. But now the report is that the bandits are being fired from the northwest right now by the army, and that place is becoming unsettled for them, and that's why they're infiltrating towards this part of Nigeria. Now, where do we meet to actually put this and nip this in the bud? Because obviously there are people in the system who are also compromising and opening up gaps for these guys to run free.
Yeah, okay. If there's peace in
I know you're not a security expert, right? So don't.
Yes, no. If there's peace in the Southwest, if there is safety in the Southwest, including for the bandits, they will come down. So it is for the Nigerian Army and all other security establishments, especially the Department of State Security, that should be proactive to ensure that whatever is being dispersed at the up north is not now trickling down and settling in the south to now start becoming a cancer that will spread.
Yes, so, you've highlighted that. But my concern now is money. Because recently there was a report about a doctor who goes into the forest to treat bandits when they are injured. Obviously, the money that comes from that particular, avenue is quite huge.
Yeah.
What do we do to close the gap, to ensure that people do not compromise on their values and their oaths? Because it appears the more you go into the forest to treat bandits, from their injuries. What you're saying is they should continue. You're
True.
also a part of the crime.
True. So I feel that one of the ways that can really be arrested is for the security agents, especially the DSS, to go all out to gather intelligence to ensure that this doesn't happen. That's number one. Number two, we should have serious orientation of our people that this thing, it has devastated some parts of Nigeria. It should not now be encouraged in this in down south, in the southwest. So that's number two. And number three, what the governors are presently doing is strengthening everything that can be strengthened, encouraging every other outfit that can be encouraged in order to ensure that this doesn't fester. Because if it is allowed to fester, then there is seriously going to be fire on the mountain.
All right, Chidi, welcome back. You were already on the trail of, eulogizing the Southwest governors and how they've been very cooperative. Well, you can take off from there quickly.
Yes, yeah. I was just going to tell you that. Look, I appreciate the idea of working together. The way they're doing it, and you can see that it's producing result. Yeah. Compare that to what you are seeing in the Southeast, where they work in silos. Every state, trying to showcase what they can do, but not much in synergy with each other. Forgetting that if a particular state is able to clear the criminals, they will of course relocate to the contiguous states. So it doesn't make sense. Once they move to the nearest state, that place they came out from is still under threat. So it's better to have this kind of arrangement that the Southwest governors are having, to always meet all the time, to strategize and re-strategize, to check, to compare notes, to see where the problem is worse.
Okay.
So I appreciate the tenacity of purpose.
All right. Now that you've established that, how can intelligence be managed so we don't get to hear news about ambush? Believe it or not, people would compromise to receive that credit alert. What possible mechanisms can be instituted to avert this danger?
I didn't get the question. I'm sorry.
Yes, I said, how well can we manage intelligence so that people do not compromise on their values and get some of our soldiers ambushed like the bandits normally do in the Northwest? What possible mechanisms can we put in place to avert this danger?
Very important question. I think there's what we call community-based intelligence gathering. Okay. This is where you mainstream the members of the community into your intelligence architecture. What we mean here is that intelligence is all about information, information collected and then processed and then made actionable. Right. So if you make people own the security challenges, if make people to be part of your solution, if you make people to see their challenge as something that they have to contribute in, you see that it will be easy for them to say something when they see something. But if you alienate them, if the troops deployed or the policemen working in any community are working at cross purposes or unnecessarily unfriendly or harsh or insensitive, you see that the members of the community will not feel free to be part of that information gathering mechanism. But if by the time you create that latitude, by the time you bring them into the whole fold, by the time you bring in all the critical stakeholders, the traditional rulers, the religious leaders, the youths, the people around, the itinerant workers, the drivers, the Okada riders, the ticket riders. These are people who are actually on the move all the time. They are the ones who usually see things and they should be able to say things. So, we must galvanize the entire community to be part of the intelligence gathering effort. Right. That's the only way we can do it. Because most of the problems, most of the issues that we're talking about are better dealt with, through intelligence, as intelligence solution. Right. So it's not all about kinetic effort. It has to be some level of cooperation with the people, and then you get the result you need. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. Final story today.